This video is a common request to compare two very popular robotic lawn mowers. First, the behemoth multifunction yard robot called Yarbo against the newest kid on the block, Lymow. People think these robots are similar because they both use tracks for their drivetrain. But as you'll see in this video, that's pretty much the only thing they have in common. These robots were provided by their respective manufacturers for previously sponsored content. However, this video is neither sponsored, requested, nor reviewed by either company, so it's an unbiased comparison. Alright, let's get to it. Yarbo was founded in 2015 as the world's first autonomous snowblower. In 2022, they changed the name to Yarbo. They launched on Kickstarter a campaign to create a modular yard robot, including the lawnmower. So 2022 was really when Yarbo lawnmower was born. Lymow was also launched in 2022 and became the most successful robotic mower launch on Kickstarter with over 3,000 pre-orders. Alright, first let's talk about cost. Now the Yarbo that I'm using here is the 2024 version of the Core and the lawnmower, the original lawnmower. This is not the Pro. I don't have the Pro. When I get the Pro, I might refresh this. But for now, I'm just doing a head-to-head comparison with the lawnmower that is available. The Yarbo lawnmower is the one that's available, and it is currently on sale for $44.99. Normally sells for like $5,000, but it's on sale right now. Lymow currently is also on sale. They say the list price on the Lymow is $3,000, but it's currently on sale for $21.99. Size-wise, the Yarbo is massive compared to the Lymow. The Lymow is 22 inches wide, Yarbo is 26, the Lymow is 28 inches long, and the Yarbo is 51 inches long. Tremendous. Lymow comes in at a svelte 78 pounds, whereas Yarbo is a chubby boy at 198 pounds. They both have 2-year standard warranties, but Lymow extended it to 3 years for anybody that did a pre-order. They both have the ability to do pretty good grades, but Yarbo does 70% grade, which is a 35-degree slope, whereas Lymow can do 100% grade, which is a 45-degree slope, so Lymow wins that one. As far as navigation, they both use RTK GPS technology to let them know where they are within a centimeter accuracy. However, Yarbo only has RTK, and so if you're under some big trees and it loses its GPS signal, it will stop and wait for the signal to come back. Whereas Lymow uses VSLAM, which is a visual technology so that it actually can continue working for up to 10 minutes without RTK signal. So that one has a slight edge to Lymow. Speaking of GPS, in my experience, I would say Yarbo's GPS, even though it has two exterior antennas, it's rather weak compared to the Lymow. Lymow is really solid, strong GPS, even next to the house and in the garage. Whereas Yarbo, next to the house, it will not start if it's next to my house. I have to move it away from the house to actually get GPS signal before starting. And when I had both of them in my garage, the Yarbo had no signal whatsoever, but Lymow had signal, plenty of GPS in the same garage. So I can't explain it. And Lymow's antennas are interior. The Yarbos, being exterior, are prone to breakage. I've seen a lot of that online. Mine have not broken, thank goodness, but I've seen a lot of people that have. As far as the cutting system, Yarbo has a 20-inch cut. It uses 10 razor blades that are attached to plastic cutting discs. Those discs are fragile and they are subject to break if it hits some kind of an obstruction of some sort, a rock or a root or something like that. Thankfully, it's never happened to me, but I've seen it happen to people online. I don't think that that's a flaw. I think that's actually a design feature so that it protects the motors in case it hits something. The Lymow took a completely different approach, much more like a traditional lawnmower. It uses mulching blades, 2 steel mulching blades that are a total of 16 inches wide. Because they're steel mulching blades, they can be sharpened, whereas Yarbo, you can't really sharpen the razor blades, you have to replace them. But the good thing is they have 2 cutting edges on both sides. So to actually double the life, you just swap the discs back and forth. And in my experience for the blade life, I would say you probably want to swap the discs every 3 or 4 weeks and then replace the blades every 3 or 4 weeks after that. Whereas with Lymow, I've had the Lymow for about 6 weeks and I've already sharpened the blades about 3 times. Not necessarily because I had to, but because I was trying to get the best cut quality for videos like this one. Regardless of which robotic lawnmower you use, you want to always observe the grass after every cut, and if you notice any degradation in cut quality, specifically tearing the grass like you see here, you always want to look at the blades. It's time to replace them or to sharpen them. They both feature a cutting height of 1.2 to 4 inches, so that's pretty much a wash. They both support scheduling of mowing. They also have rain sensors that send them back to the charging dock if it starts to rain while it's mowing. They both have obstacle avoidance systems that have vision cameras as well as ultrasonic sensors and a touch bumper. As far as noise is concerned, the Yarbo has a quiet motor, but it's got a loud drive. The drive motors have gears in them, a lot of torque, and that makes a lot of noise. And it's like an annoying whine of 2 cats in the middle of the night. Just so you know, my wife will not let me run Yarbo at night because people like to sleep with their windows open and she doesn't want any complaints from the neighbors. That's how loud it is. On the other hand, it's not going to sneak up on anybody. Now the drive motors on Lymow are really pretty silent, but the mower is actually louder, and that's because the mulching blades are like fans and they actually use air. They move air more than the razor blades on Yarbo. Now in my opinion, I prefer the noise profile of Lymow. I think it sounds more like a normal lawnmower and it doesn't have that whine. That whine from Yarbo is just really annoying, and I really hope that they improve that in the next version. Now another big differentiator is the battery. Yarbo has a bigger battery, 1382 watt hours, whereas Lymow's is only 528 watt hours. Yarbo uses a lithium-ion battery with nickel, cobalt, manganese, whereas Lymow uses lithium iron phosphate. What are the differences? Well, from what I'm told, Yarbo's is better for the winter, whereas Lymow's is better for the summer. And I know that people have been having problems with Yarbo batteries overheating during charging. Because of course it goes and discharges when it's mowing and then it goes back to charge and it can't charge because the battery is so hot. I have not heard anybody having that problem with Lymow at this point. Battery overheating is absolutely a problem for people that live in warm climates such as Texas. It's gotten so bad that one of these owners has actually butchered his Yarbo to put a fan in the battery compartment powered by a solar panel. Really an ingenious invention, but I'm not sure how it's going to do in the rain. The runtime for Yarbo is 3.5 hours. Lymow reports theirs to be 3 hours, but I've tested it about 2 hours and 40 minutes is the most that I've gotten out of it before it goes back to recharge. Yarbo's battery is also physically bigger. It's 22.4 pounds, whereas Lymow's is 13.3 pounds. The big difference is Yarbo's battery is rated for 500 cycles, whereas Lymow is rated for 2,500 cycles. The battery replacement cost for Yarbo is $1,199, whereas Lymow's is $499. Now, if you do the math, that means the cost per cycle on that replacement battery for Yarbo is $2.40 per cycle, whereas Lymow's is 20 cents. That's right, 20 cents, less than 1/10. Yarbo has a superior charging system. It uses an inductive charger that has no contacts whatsoever. The robot just backs onto the charging dock, and that's perfect because it has to be out in the winter. It has no metal contacts that can either corrode or wear out. Lymow, however, uses stainless steel contacts on the bottom of the robot, and the only problem with that is sometimes people have been saying they've been getting dirty and some potential corrosion on those charging contacts. So that's something we're going to have to keep a lookout on. As far as the recharge time, Yarbo says it takes 90 minutes to recharge their battery. Lymow says it will take 1.5 hours once they ship the 10 amp charger, which has yet to be brought into production. So people were sent with a 2.5 amp charger, which recharges in 6 hours. So I'm looking forward to that 10 amp charger coming at some point. As far as communications with the internet and your app, the Yarbo took a different approach. They have a data center which incorporates an RTK antenna as well, but it requires a power over Ethernet cable from your router inside the house run outside to the data center. So it's a very different approach, and you can do 4G in the robot, but that is optional. Lymow, the robot uses Wi-Fi, but it comes with a 4G card with 2 years worth of service. You can extend that afterwards, but it does not use any kind of connectivity in the RTK. It just needs power. So you can put the RTK anywhere in your yard with a clear view of the sky. It just needs to either plug into an outlet or connect to the dock for power. As far as mowing speed and maximum areas, I don't know what to believe here, honestly, because they're both theoretical. Now, I'm just giving you the specifications from their websites, but Yarbo claims that they can mow 0.14 acres per hour. Lymow says they can do 0.23 acres per hour. The maximum area that Yarbo says is 6 acres, which is based on a twice weekly cut. And Lymow claims they can do 1.7 acres per day. So when you do the math, that seems to be about the same. So they're saying they can both do big yards. Now, I don't have 6 acres to test on, but I do have 1.1 acres in New Jersey, and I can say both of these mowers are very well suited for my size property, and even larger. Yarbo can mow my entire lawn with about 3 charge cycles, and it can probably get it done in one day if I don't have dew on the grass and get it started early enough so that it's not mowing into the dark. Lymow, on the other hand, has a bit of a disadvantage because of that 2.5 amp charger. It takes me 4 recharge cycles, so that would be way too long. I'd have to be mowing for more than 24 hours straight, and I refuse to do that. I won't mow wet grass, and I won't mow into the night. That's why I haven't been able to test Lymow to do my entire property in one fell swoop. 3, 2, 1. Now, just for grins, I decided to do a startup test after putting the battery in and pressing the start button, and the results are really pretty surprising.
Hello, let's get mowing.
Now, it doesn't matter how long it takes to reboot Yarbo because I rarely ever do. But Lymow, because it's a new product, it's buggy right now, so yeah, I restart it quite a bit.
Ready to work.
Now, with fresh blades and batteries in both mowers, I sent them out because I wanted to compare their cut quality. So here you can see Yarbo first pass. I would say that it cut about 60% of the grass. There's a lot of stragglers, which is typical. This is long grass, so I understand that. Now with Lymow, this section was a little bit drier than the other one, but you can still see it's only about 60% cut. A lot of stragglers still. But this is key. Every time you want to use a robotic lawnmower, you just have to do it multiple times. You need multiple passes to get a good, clean cut.
Day 2.
Now, the very next day, I sent the mowers out again to the same zones. Now, with Yarbo, I have it configured to change the angle 30 degrees every time it mows. So here you can see the result of that. And I would say with this second cut, with the angle change, this one is about 90%. That's the score I would give it. It's still got some stragglers, but it's a much better, much cleaner cut. Now with Lymow, I did the same zone, but I altered it manually by 90 degrees because there's no way to have it change automatically. But here you can see it did a much cleaner cut as well. This one is probably around 80% to 90%. It's still got some stragglers, but it's looking much better. This is the key. You've got to do multiple cuts and change the angle, and that's when you'll get a really good, clean cut. Thanks to the GPS technology, your OCD will be very happy with the straight lines that both of these robots make in the lawn. But if you're looking for stripes, it's really hard to call the lines that Lymow makes to be stripes. Yarbo is winning the striping game hands down. Now for grins, I was curious to see how these robots would compare in a feat of strength.
A collision occurred.
Yarbo may have the strength, but Lymow makes up for it in agility. Lymow is small and nimble. Look how gracefully it mows these garden edges with fluid motions. I tried to get Yarbo to do the same thing, but its moves are jerky and it nearly takes out the plants. So you can see there are pros and cons to both. Lymow may be half the cost of Yarbo, but at the end of the day, it's just a lawnmower. Yarbo is way more than that. It's a multifunction robot that can help maintain your yard all year long. So it's really not a fair comparison. But what do you think? Leave me a comment down below with your thoughts. And as always, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDadTV for more great ideas and information.